week one of the fantasy baseball season. Here's a few hitters I look to sell and trade this week. So obviously, it's only a handful of games early on in the season, but some of these hitters I believe are playing over their head in the next couple weeks. Their value is going to drop and the numbers are going to go down. The first hitter is Cedric Mullins of the Baltimore Orioles. So what a start it's been for Mullins on the year. 7 for 20 on the year. 2 home runs, 10 RBIs, 3 runs scored, a stolen base on the year for Cedric Mullins. So Mullins, he's gone out there. He's played great baseball, no doubt about it, for this Baltimore Oriole team in the first few games of the year. March 27th at Toronto, 3 for 5, 2 homers, 5 RBIs. March 28th at the Jays, 0 for 3. March 29th at the Blue Jays, 1 for 4 run, an RBI, a stolen base. March 30th at Toronto, 1 for 4. And March 31st versus the Red Sox, 2 for 4. So right now, 10 RBIs in the beginning of the year in only 5 games for Cedric Mullins, where last season it was a mediocre year for him in terms of obviously power and RBIs. He did have 32 stolen bases, but the average was 234 and a 305 on base. So right now, he's playing great baseball, showing pop, driving in a lot of runs for this Baltimore Oriole team. He's a sell-high candidate because, like I said, I don't believe Mullins, he's going to be atop the leaderboard all season long in RBIs, where he obviously show power, over 350 on the season. We've seen enough, obviously, of Mullins throughout his major league career, where we know what type of player he is. He'll give you 15, 20 home runs, steal anywhere from 25, 30 stolen bases for most seasons. And he's a guy that'll score decent runs, but the pace he's on right now and the couple big ball games he's had, he's definitely a sell-high hitter this week. I'm not saying dump these players just for anything, but I just believe they're off to hot starts and they're going to cool off. And their numbers are going to even out as the year goes on. Next hitter, Eugenio Suarez of the Arizona Diamondbacks. He's on a power surge to start the year, 4 for 14 on the year. 4 home runs, so always hits are home runs in the early going. 5 runs scored, a stolen base on the year. So Suarez, we know he's got good power. Last season, 30 and 101 with 90 runs scored, but only a 256 average and a 319 on base. So last season was a great year for Suarez, and I know many years ago he had over 50 home runs with the Cincinnati Reds. But this season, we'll see if he could get to that 30 home run mark. All 4 of his hits are home runs for Eugenio Suarez. I don't think he's going to keep it up at this torrid pace. Him and Aaron Judge tied for the home run lead in the early going. And so far to begin the year, March 27th versus the Cubs, 1 for 3, a homer, an RBI, 2 runs scored. March 28th versus the Cubs, 2 for 4, 2 homers, 4 RBIs. March 29th versus the Cubs, 1 for 3, a homer, 2 RBIs. And March 30th versus the Cubs, 0 for 4. So they're opening a series here tonight at the New York Yankees, where we've seen the ball fly out the first 3 games at Yankee Stadium, with obviously the Yankees scoring 20 runs in a ball game a few games ago. So Suarez, I believe his power numbers are legit, no doubt about it, but batting average I don't think is going to be there at the end of the year. I don't think over 100 RBIs once again is going to be there for Eugenio Suarez. So right now, he's off to a good start, and you put him on the trade block and see what you get, where I think you possibly could get a big bat and possibly a closer or a starting pitcher and a decent bat in the deal. This would be a time to do it because I believe he's at peak value as Eugenio Suarez. He's been a street power hitter throughout his career. We'll have some big weeks and some weeks he won't do much. So right now, he's playing great baseball, is Suarez. He's definitely a hitter I would sell this week. The next hitter, Wilyer Abreu of the Boston Red Sox. Last season, he had 400 at-bats, Abreu. But versus lefties, especially tough lefties, he sat out most of the time. We finished the year 15 home runs, 58 RBIs, 8 stolen bases, 59 runs scored, a 253 average, and a 322 on base. But so far, off to a great start on the year. 7 for 11, 2 home runs, 6 RBIs, 5 runs scored, a stolen base. But he sat out in yesterday's ball game versus the lefty Cade Pavic at the Baltimore Orioles. So he's off to a great start. So far as Wilyer Abreu. And opening day, March 27th at Texas, 3 for 3, 2 homers, 4 RBIs, 3 runs scored. March 28th at the Rangers, 2 for 3, an RBI. March 29th at Texas, 1 for 3, a run. March 30th at the Rangers, 1 for 1 in that one with a run, an RBI, a stolen base. And then, like I said, he pinched hit in yesterday's game at the O's, 0 for 1. So Wilyer Abreu off to a great start, no doubt about it. Obviously, I don't believe it's going to keep up. And also as well, if he's going to sit out versus majority of left-handed pitching, that means he could be out, 1 or 2 games per week minimum, and then a rest day here and there for Wilyer Abreu. So right now, he's clubbing the ball and playing great baseball for this Boston Red Sox team. He's a sell-high hitter this week. I'm not saying trade him off for anything. But like I said, sitting versus lefties is a little bit of a down thing, I believe, for fantasy owners, where you want someone in there that you know is going to play 6-7 games a week for fantasy owners. And also as well, to a great start, we're going to hit over 600 for Wheeler Reyes. So right now, well, he's off to a great start. He's a sell-high hitter this week. Next hitter, Cody Bellinger of the New York Yankees. Bellinger and this Yankee team, they're mashing. And I know a lot of controversy and stuff about the torpedo-shaped bats, where they scored 20 runs in a game versus the Brewers in the weekend series. Was this New York Yankee team, and Bellinger was part of it, where he had a homer in that game. So on the year for Bellinger, 4 for 10, 3 runs scored, a homer, 6 RBIs on the season. And last year was a little bit of a down year for Bellinger after he had a monster year in 2023 with the Cubs. Last season, 18 homers, 78 RBIs, 72 runs scored, 9 stolen bases, a 266 average, and a 325 on base. So Bellinger, Yankee Stadium, we know left-handers, they mash over there, short porch and right. Great for hitters. I think his numbers will be good this season, no doubt about it. But right now, he's off to a good start. And we know Bellinger, he's been injured here and there over the last couple seasons, is Bellinger. And also as well, there's some times where he goes in bad slumps and he just can't produce. So right now, well, he's off to a good start. And everyone on this Yankee team is hitting home runs and putting up numbers. He's a sell-high hitter this week, is Bellinger. Like I said, I think he's going to have a solid year for this New York Yankee team. But also, the start he's off to, it's a hot start for Bellinger, where I believe you can put him on the trade block and someone will overpay because he's a Yankee. And obviously, he's off to a good start. March 27th versus the Brewers, 1 for 2 in RBI. March 29th versus the Brewers in that 20-run game, 3 for 5, a homer, 4 RBIs, 3 runs scored. And March 30th versus the Brewers, 0 for 3 with an RBI. So Bellinger, we know he's had problems versus lefties. It'll be career. Arizona Diamondbacks are coming to town here tonight to start a 3-game set. But I think Bellinger, like I said, will have a decent season. But I just don't believe the batting average will be that high for him. But I believe the home run numbers could go up for Bellinger this season. But the average will drop, I think, and the strikeout rate will go up a little bit, where he might be trying to get home run happy in that short right field porch, where lefty hitters obviously love to slug in that short right field. And the final hit I look to sell and trade this week's Nathaniel Lowe of the Washington Nationals. Nathaniel Lowe, he's off to a decent start to begin the year with his new team in the Nationals, getting traded from the Rangers. On the year, 6 for 16, 2 home runs, 5 RBIs, 3 runs scored on the season. So last year, it wasn't a great fantasy year for Lowe. As a serviceable guy every day at the first base position and someone who's good on defense, yes, it was good. But in terms of fantasy baseball and putting eye-popping numbers, it just wasn't there. Besides a great on-base percentage, 16 homers, 69 RBIs last season, 62 runs scored, 2 stolen bases, a 265 average, and a 361 on base. But like I said, Lowe, he's off to a good start early on in the season. 2 out of 4 games. He's had multiple hit ball games. March 27th versus the Phillies, 1 for 4. March 29th versus the Phillies, 2 for 5, a homer, 3 ribs. March 30th versus the Phillies, 3 for 4, a homer, 2 RBIs, 2 runs scored. And March 31st at the Blue Jays in that ball game, 0 for 3. So this national team, obviously, they definitely improved this season. Where James Wood, he started the season up in the majors all year long. Dylan Cruz as well. You got C.J. Abrams, Garcia at second base. So this national team, they're still in a little bit of a rebuild mode, but they definitely got some good players. And Lowe could put up good numbers. But like I said, power hasn't been a big thing for him over the last few seasons. And he's a patient hitter at the plate. And also, the Nationals ballpark's not a great hitter's ballpark as well, I believe. And he also plays in a tough division in the NL East. Arguably, he's the best division in the league, with the Atlanta Braves, Philadelphia Phillies, New York Mets as the top teams in that division. So right now, while Lowe's off to a good start, and like I said, over the last few seasons, power and RBIs haven't been big numbers for him. He's a sell-high hitter. This week, sets a few hitters I look to sell and trade for week 1 of the fantasy baseball season.